Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Millions of dollars, institutional dollars actually, flowed into XRP in a single week. But XRP was supposed to be dead. Why are institutions, widely accepted to be the quote-unquote smart money, why are they putting money into XRP? Might it be because XRP not only does it have a utility, but it's one of the oldest cryptocurrencies on the planet and has been in the top 10 for its entire life. The top 10 cryptocurrencies. Might those be a few of the reasons? Because look, when it comes to institutional money, they're not freaking idiots. And I'll tell you what, a lot of these hedge funds, what I see from them is they do tend to, like, they're not into like the lower cap risky stuff in general. It's about the long-standing cryptocurrencies that have been around forever, which is why, in terms of altcoins, Ethereum leads that category. You know, it does. I'm happy to acknowledge that. Whatever. I mean, I hold Ethereum. I'm not convinced it's going to be here. 30 years from now. Maybe it will be if it scales. But XRP, my gosh, it is my largest holding. It's my favorite cryptocurrency for a ton of reasons, because it actually does stuff. Technologically, it's incredibly impressive. But, to think that institutional money wasn't going to gravitate towards that because of reasons never made sense to me. And so I do understand, obviously, there are hedge funds in the United States, including Grayscale, that have divested themselves of their XRP holdings, but that's out of an abundance of caution due to regulatory and legal concerns. But once this whole SEC versus Ripple case is settled, I firmly believe that they'll be jumping right back in. And so I'm going to share with you a new report that indicates just how much money has been flowing into XRP from institutions in a single week, and it is millions of dollars. And also, JPMorgan, though, my God. Good old JPMorgan. That's where we want to go for trustworthy news, right? Well, they say that things are looking like we're entering a bear market. JPMorgan, a year ago or so, they were so anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin, and then they found out a way to make money on it, and then just completely changed their tune. And so why they're putting out this fear, uncertainty, and doubt right now, I'm not sure. But look at this headline from Crypto Newsflash. Bitcoin is headed for a bear market, JPMorgan warns, as crypto seems stuck at $37,000. And so I want to share with you their rationale for this because it doesn't make sense to me. And then you guys can tell me what you think. But I do want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a super duper fun hobby about Ripple and XRP and crypto and apparently JP Morgan sometimes. XRP, as I record this, is at 85 cents. Bitcoin's at $35,803. Market cap for the asset class, $1.54 trillion. And Bitcoin dominance at 43.32%. And how about that fear and greed index? It's looking a little bit better than it recently did. Just yesterday it was at 21. Today it's at 28. That's an improvement, right? But within the last couple weeks or so, I reported it down to, what was it at? I can't remember now. I definitely saw 13. I'm trying to remember if I saw 10. I can't remember. But either way, the point is, market in extreme fear. And when the market's in extreme fear, that's when people that understand how human psychology works, if they want to purchase, that's when a lot of them will purchase. And when it's on the flip side, when this chart shows people in extreme greed, people that maybe want to realize some profitability, this might be a good time to hop off the trolley for a minute, right? Maybe that's what people, that's just the way it works. And people that are new to the markets do not realize this. When it feels good and super easy, you should actually be concerned, but you're not feeling concerned, are you? Because you feel validated, the prices are so high. And then when it's scary and low, oh my gosh, I don't want to touch this. And it's just the opposite of whatever your human emotions tell you to do, probably the opposite is better. So I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold. You do whatever you want. I'm just saying this is the way people are wired. It's observably true in the stock market and crypto markets. It's not unique to crypto. And so here's a tweet from Lub Crypto. In the short term, he was indicating that for Bitcoin, there are a lot of short positions open, but he's expecting a relief rally for Bitcoin this coming week, $41,000 to $43,000 perhaps. Wouldn't mind seeing that. And here's a tweet from chart analyst Michael Vandepop, who wrote, "The majority of the traders are too micro-focused on their positions and forget to zoom out." Yes, indeed. And so I've been public about the fact that I've never sold a single XRP in my entire life, though I do intend to sell the vast majority of my XRP this market cycle, if not all of it. It depends on how high the prices go. You got to entice me if you're gonna get this XRP out of my hands. I'm just telling you. But just if you just think about, since I've been here since November 2017, the amount of volatility I've been through all of the volatility during that time period because I've been holding XRP that whole time, and with every single dip that occurred along the way, and I don't even know how many, like just figuratively endless quantity of dips. There were people that were panicked out of their position at every single one of those. Now, I could have been one of those emotional humans that felt that scaredness and then reacted accordingly, and I could have been out of my position at any single one of those positions. But then, had I done that, I wouldn't have gotten to see XRP run back up to $2, which just happened a month and a half or so ago. It did that. And yes, I know it's lower right now, it retreats, but crypto's volatile. I'm not worried about that either. Because my bet, ever since the XRP bubble popped in early 2018, was that we would see all-time highs again. And I'm still expecting that. So I'm still not interested in selling even at $2, but I wouldn't have gotten to see that. And if I wanted to, I could have actually sold my XRP and realized profit at $2. But had I freaked out at any other point along the way when XRP was mostly hovering in the 20, 30, 40 cent region for most of the last few years, I wouldn't have even had that opportunity. And so it's just so funny to see how people, they do look so short-term at this, but if you just zoom out and recognize that the volatility is to be expected, I think it can help you temper your emotions. So again, I don't care if you buy or sell or hold. I'm not advising on that. I'm talking about the human psychology behind this and how ridiculous it is. And so here's the headline from the Daily Hodl. Institutions pumping millions into Ethereum and other altcoins. And I don't mind them putting Ethereum at the top in the headline there because, admittedly, that's where most of the institutional money went as it pertains to altcoins, but that's not surprising, right? That's the #1 altcoin on the planet in terms of market cap. I got it. Now, again, I'm less convinced that Ethereum will be around a few decades from now than I am about XRP. And I don't know for sure that either of them will be around. I have doubt about everything that I believe in crypto. And I think that's healthy. I think that we should say, okay, I highly suspect that so-and-so may be the case, but reserve room for some doubt just in case some information comes along that may persuade you to think, okay, maybe I'm wrong about this or that. And because we're always evolving. My opinions on anything crypto-related has certainly evolved over the last 3.5 years and will continue to do so. But that isn't to say I don't have strong conviction. I have very strong conviction as it pertains to XRP because it's functionally used in enterprise-grade software today. That's important. Utility matters, and I think utility is going to be required for any cryptocurrency that does have long-term viability. But in the short term, these hedge funds and all the institutional money that's flowing in, they're just reading the market as a whole, and I think they see that. I know they see that the market does move in tandem. So they're just picking the top ones because those ones, they're like, even still, like the market moves in tandem, yes, but they're more of like the quote unquote sure bets because they've been around long. So the longer something's been around, humans tend to perceive it as like a quote unquote safer bet. And so the thinking goes that as you go further down the market cap list, which each successive coin down the list, it becomes less and less certain that they're going to be here in the future. Right? That's the general thinking. Now, I still don't think that enough people are parsing out the differences, but still, these coins are jockeying for position. This is how humans rank them, whether we like it or not. This is what humans are doing. They're looking at market cap, and so that does heavily determine how much money flows into XRP or any cryptocurrency from an institutional perspective. So it's not surprising. So I downloaded this actual report that was cited in this article from CoinShares, and you can see here $4.5 million went institutional money. Institutions. So we're talking hedge funds, because what are institutional? There's like 6 different types. I don't know if I can rattle them off the top of my head, but what's like endowment funds, pension funds, institution, hedge. What did I say? Hedge funds. I believe insurance companies are included in that. There's I believe there are 6 different types, but anyway, it's big money. Suffice it to say, it is big money, and $4.5 million into XRP in 1 week when it was supposed to be dead. So how about that? It's not dead, and more is going to flow back into it, I think, as soon as stuff clears up with the SEC. I won't be surprised to see that in the least. And so to me, this matters. Now then you get JPMorgan, though. Look at this headline from Crypto Newsflash. Bitcoin is headed for a bear market, JPMorgan warns, as crypto seems stuck at $37,000. And so I want to go to the bottom of this because I don't want to go through the whole article here, But here's a little subheading. I think I believe there was at least one point. I think there are 2 points in here that I wanted to cite. So let me go through this bottom portion of the article. Subtitle is JPMorgan sees darker days ahead for Bitcoin. Woo! Scare everybody out of the market. Right? Is this intentional? Do they believe what they're saying here? Bitcoin is headed for darker days ahead, the largest bank in the U.S. believes. In a note to investors, JPMorgan analysts pointed to a number of factors such as a decline in the futures market as a reason for caution. Bitcoin's spot price is above its futures price, showing that institutional investors expect it to drop even further. And so this is funny to me. They're citing specifically futures markets here. And then what did I just show you? I mean, yeah, there's been outflows of crypto too. Like there have been massive outflows. I'm not pretending like there haven't been, but what's the institutional money doing? And I am showing, it's true of Bitcoin too. Like money is flowing into Bitcoin, even from an institutional perspective. So why they're focused specifically on the futures market, that doesn't necessarily make sense to me. And if you look at human behavior from the last market cycle, it's still, I mean, if it's going to line up, then this isn't the bottom of the market. We're not entering the bear market. And if you look, I'll tell you what, out of all the analysts that I follow and I have some respect for because I think they're generally more right than they are wrong about their analysis of Bitcoin and XRP and crypto, those people, those analysts, do not think that we're entering a bear market. You know, the analysts that do think that we're entering a bear market, I'm like, how long have you been in crypto? A week? Like, and fine, they could all be wrong. And then fine, if we're in a bear market, I already told you what I do, because that could happen. I'm not pretending it can't happen. I'm just not persuaded that it will. But yeah, I just hold. Even if that means we don't see another bull rally for 3, 4, 5 years, I'll still be here. I'm still going to hold because I'm not going to sell at levels that aren't appealing to me. It's just not going to happen. But then they write the following. The analysts remarked, quote, "We believe that the return to backwardation in recent weeks has been a negative signal pointing to a bear market." And in just a second, they actually do in this article define backwardation, so just sit tight for a sec. According to the report, which first appeared on Bloomberg, the current Bitcoin futures trend mirrors that of 2018. In that year, Bitcoin lost 3/4 of its value after hitting almost $20,000 in December 2017. So I'd like to know in what way they say it's mirroring it. I mean, you could, if you want to be disingenuous or you're bad at analyzing stuff, you could say that any pullback is mirroring what happened because it's a big drop. You know, could have mirrored something in the past. But even then, again, they're talking about futures markets here. You know, they're not talking about what's happening on actual spot exchanges. Then the article continues. The analysts defined backwardation as an unusual development and a reflection of how weak Bitcoin demand is at the moment from institutional investors who tend to use contracts listed on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Yeah, except for maybe don't just look at the CME because as I just cited, lots of money, millions and millions and millions of dollars flowing into Bitcoin and altcoins and specifically XRP. So I don't know why they're cherry picking or citing these things specifically. Like, why? Are they intentionally trying to drive this sort of fear? I don't know. Because I don't trust JPMorgan. I certainly do not. They've said all sorts of nonsense about crypto and digital assets for like the better part of a decade, and they've just been wrong all along the way. And then magically, when they jump into it, then they start to have a rosier tune. But now they're saying something that I know doesn't make sense. And I'm highlighting it because I'm happy to talk about it. It's interesting. And let's be aware of it. But like, what the hell? And then they wrap up by stating here, the analysts are further concerned about Bitcoin's dwindling dominance. At press time, it stands just short of 44%. While it has recovered a few points since hitting 40% in mid-May, it's still down for the from the 72% it registered on January 2nd this year. And so actually that was the number one reason that I have a beef with their analysis, to be honest with you. Because Bitcoin dominance, look, it goes down. Even if Bitcoin price is going up, even if it is, its dominance is going to decrease if altcoins are outpacing it. And so you saw last market cycle, it was losing dominance on its way up to $20,000 when it hit its then all-time high. And its dominance ultimately got down to last market cycle to about 35%. And so while it's sitting at 44% so far, that's pretty far off from 35%. Like, how could you possibly think that dominance at that levels is some sort of strong indicator that we're in a bear market? Like JPMorgan, I just feel like they should know better than this. Like I do. I'm not a chart analyst. I'm not a professional, but what the hell are they talking about? I've been following this on a daily basis for 3.5 years, so I know this doesn't make a lick of sense, but here we are. So I just thought I'd shred that a little bit. Now, if any of you think I'm wrong, that's perfectly fine. I love diversity of thought. And people, I love it if somebody has a different opinion than me and can tactfully articulate their position. No, I'm kidding. If you don't like my position, you can just get out. Nah, I'm joking. I'm just being a silly little moon Lambo. But if you think I'm wrong, I seriously, tell me what I'm missing. I don't see it here. I think that JPMorgan ain't making a lick of sense here. Bitcoin dominance, that's a factor that you're pointing to? Moon Lambo ain't got time for such nonsense. But I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.